Want to hear something wild? What if a pop star's comeback dress held both her past and a ghostly secret? We're diving into Mother Mary.
Hey, I'm Leah, totally excited to unravel today's topic.
And I'm Garrett, just buzzing with curiosity for this one. Welcome to Laid Back Learning with Leah and Garrett.
Today's topic is Mother Mary, a 2026 psychological drama that blends pop stardom with supernatural elements, written and directed by David Lowery. Quick story to set the mood. In college, I played cello in this old theater that everyone swore was haunted. During dress rehearsal, the house lights flickered and my A string snapped on a long sustain. Total jump scare. The stage manager joked the building wanted a different key. Ever since, I've had this soft spot for art mixing with the uncanny. So hearing about a pop star literally fighting a cloth ghost while making a performance dress, yeah, that one got me right away.
All right, let's set the stage for this one. Mother Mary is a psychological drama, which just means it's more about inner battles and identity than car chases. David Lowery, the filmmaker behind it, uses a pop superstar's life to poke at fame, authorship, and guilt. It was released by A24 in 2026. That independent film company is known for stylish, director-driven movies. The film's got a supernatural twist, but the heart of it is two people locked in a creative showdown.
The core setup is simple, and that's what makes it intense. Anne Hathaway plays Mary, a world-famous pop star. Michaela Coel plays Sam Anselm, Mary's former costume designer and estranged lover. Mary shows up at Sam's workshop to commission a dress for a big comeback performance. They've got only a few days, and Mary believes she's haunted by this red cloth entity. So the dress becomes a battleground for apology, credit, and whether you can literally cut pain out of yourself.
Best analogy I've heard for the movie is this. Imagine a concert film got spliced with a gothic ghost story. Concert film means you're seeing staged music numbers with arena lighting and choreography. Gothic here points to dramatic symbolism, saturated colors, and big emotions. That blend is the whole vibe, and it's kind of a roller coaster, right? Beginning with inspirations, Lowery has mentioned Bram Stoker's Dracula, the 1992 Coppola film, as a vibe setter. Think operatic reds, lavish fabric, and emotion dialed to 11. On the flip side, he studied Taylor Swift's Reputation concert film for the language of giant pop shows, so he's mashing Baroque horror flavor with glossy stadium spectacle.
And that carryover to performance technique shows up in Anne Hathaway's approach. She cited Beyoncé's Homecoming and a track called American Requiem as touchstones. Beyoncé, for anyone somehow new to her, is a global pop icon with extreme technical precision. Hathaway leaned into breath control and stillness, like a queen who knows the room is already hers. That calm surface makes the haunting underneath feel louder.
The whole thing mostly unfolds in Sam's barn-turned-workshop in the English countryside. It's a stripped-back, artisanal space with cutting tables and dress forms. Isolation equals pressure cooker. Because it's basically the two of them, it turns into a two-hander. A two-hander is a story that depends on two principal characters trading power and revealing history line by line.
Speaking of trading power, Sam's not shy about her grievance. She says Mary denied her proper credit and cut her out of the inner circle, so the professional betrayal and the breakup are fused. That's brutal. Sam proposes a concept for the show, a gown with a very long train stitched from Mary's old iconic dresses. On stage, those layers would be torn away, like shedding past personas. It's clever and a little savage, because it forces Mary to literally drag her history behind her.
Now let's pull in the supernatural thread. Sam tells this eerie story about a broken tooth. After the extraction, she claims something red and ghostly came out, like a spirit born from pain. Meanwhile, Mary says she had a seance with her team. A fan named Imogen, played by the artist F.K. Twigs, seemed possessed and cut open Mary's hand. Then a red ghost tried to enter the wound. That's a lot to process.
Why red cloth, though? Why make the ghost literally textile?
I think because cloth is the medium of their partnership. It's tactile. If the wound is made of fabric, you can cut it, sew it, reshape it. The ghost becomes something you can handle. That feels like Lowery saying, trauma needs form before it can be reauthored.
Middle stretch of the story, the haunting escalates. Mary reports seeing the red specter at a concert. She fell. She was injured badly. She recovers physically, but now she's blocked, unsure, and afraid that the thing is still inside her. That creative paralysis is so real. When you're disconnected from your voice, even a simple decision like what the dress should be feels impossible.
Meanwhile, Sam tightens the screws. She wants truth, precision, payment in honesty. Their shop talk turns into therapy. Dressmaking tools become ritual tools. And it's not random. An exorcism in fiction is a ritual to expel a possessing entity. Here, pins and shears act like sacred instruments. The idea is that art making can be a cleansing, but only if both agree to the cut.
This is also where the music helps set tone. The score is by Daniel Hart, a frequent Lowery collaborator. He mixes gothic textures with modern synth so you get romance and dread at once. And the original pop songs come from folks like Jack Antonoff and Charlie XCX. If you're not in pop producer land, Antonoff is known for crafting big, hooky, radio-ready songs, and Charlie XCX brings sharp, futuristic pop edges. Plus, Hathaway actually sings all 7 tracks on the soundtrack. That keeps the voice of Mary consistent.
Endgame time. Sam conducts a ritualistic exorcism using their shared language of craft. Mary takes Sam's shears and slices her own chest. Graphic, yeah, but symbolically key. Agency matters. She's not just a patient, she's a participant. Sam reaches in and pulls the red cloth ghost free, and once it's out, it's just fabric. Harmless. Material to be worked.
Then comes the transformation. Sam turns that extracted red fabric into a dress. The horror becomes couture. That's reconciliation and authorship wrapped together. Mary apologizes for the past. The dress is both a trophy and a healed scar, like wearing proof that they cut the thing out and remade it on their own terms.
We don't see the final performance full on. Instead, Hilda, played by Hunter Schaffer, calls in details. She's Mary's assistant. She says Mary sheds her original costume on stage and dedicates a song to Sam. Reporting it off-screen keeps us in that workshop headspace where the personal mattered more than the spectacle.
A few release facts, because context matters. It opened in the US in April 2026 with a limited theatrical release, and it went wide the following week. The soundtrack dropped the same day as the limited rollout. The single Burial came out earlier in March 2026 to build that pop world presence. And interestingly, production filmed under a SAG-AFTRA waiver during the 2023 strike. That's the Actors Union. The waiver was possible because the financiers weren't part of the big studio group, so filming could proceed under union terms.
Commercially, it struggled. Reported budget around $20 million, and it grossed about $3 million. Not great. Critically, it split folks. IndieWire's David Ehrlich gave it an A-. RogerEbert.com's Brian Tallarico gave it 3 out of 4. The Times in the UK gave it 4 out of 5, but The Telegraph went 2 out of 5, and places like The New Yorker, Time, and Variety were pretty tough on it. Polarization fits, because the movie is intentionally a mood piece with big symbolism.
Let's get into the thorny question the movie leaves hanging. Some characters in the film suspect Mary's onstage fall might have been a suicide attempt. The film never answers that outright. So, Garrett, where do you land on that ambiguity?
I lean toward no. Here's why. The possession imagery reads like a metaphor for external pressure invading her body. Fame, obsession, parasocial gaze. If she wanted out, the film would tilt more toward agency in that fall. Instead, we get this feeling of being overwhelmed, then haunted afterward. It plays as collapse under weight, not intent.
I see that, but I'm not fully with you. Real talk, the ambiguity mattered to me. If the question is, who controls the story of her pain, then even a suspicion can shape her world. The movie sets up authorship as a theme. If others claim it was a suicide attempt, that becomes the narrative she has to push back against. So for me, the film keeps it unresolved to show how quickly the public writes over a woman's own account.
That's a solid point. The authorship thing is everywhere here. Credit on the costumes, ownership of the pop star's image, even the ghost. Who summoned it? Who can name it? I guess I'm hanging on to the moment where Mary chooses the blade later. That choice reads as forward motion to me, like she's claiming her body and her story again.
Totally. And maybe that's the real answer the film offers. Not whether the fall was or wasn't a suicide attempt, but that she moves from being interpreted by others to interpreting herself. The exorcism is consent plus collaboration. She says yes to the cut. Sam does the work with her, not to her. That's recovery as co-authorship.
Pop culture threads to pull. The movie is openly in conversation with Taylor Swift-scale stardom, and Hathaway's performance nods to Beyoncé's discipline on stage. That combo gives the stage scenes credibility. If you're wondering what else it sits next to, critics brought up Vox Lux, which is another pop star drama with big ideas about fame, and even The Exorcist, thematically for the possession framework.
Okay, counterfactual time. What if Taylor Swift or Beyoncé had made a cameo or contributed original music directly? Do you think that would have changed the reception or the box office?
Short answer, yes. That's a cosign that can tip a movie into pop culture event status. Imagine a Beyoncé-produced track rolling over the end credits, or a surprise Taylor cameo as a mentor figure. The headlines write themselves. The opening weekend would spike, and critics might frame it less as a niche art piece and more as a cross-media experiment. That generosity of framing helps sometimes.
I agree on the visibility boost, but I also wonder if it would narrow the movie's voice. If Beyoncé or Taylor show up, the film risks feeling like a branded universe instead of its own myth. The great thing about Hathaway singing all 7 tracks is that Mary's sound stays contained within the character. A mega cameo might overshadow that intimacy.
That's fair. Maybe the ideal is contribution without cameo, like a behind-the-scenes production assist on a single, so the film gets the mainstream oxygen without the narrative being hijacked. Either way, I think the box office jumps. Whether the critical takes shift depends on if the songs and the film's tone truly click.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious.
Keep it chill, folks, and see you next time on Laid Back Learning.